This video is brought to you by the Farmer Klein YouTube channel. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Hello everybody, and welcome back to another map first impressions video. Today we're going to take a look at Euro Farms. This map can be found over at the farmingsimulator.com website or the in-game mod hub. As of the 1.0 release of this map is available for PC only. This map has several required mods that need to be downloaded with the map. They are all by the same author as the map. I'm not really sure why they're not included with the map, so there's one single download. At any rate, they are all listed on the website. You need to download a large bunker silo mod, 2 mods with the same name of grain storage, a garage and a garages mod, a shed mod, and a sheds mod. Again, all by the same map author. Download those, put those into your mod folder with the map, then load it up. Make sure you activate those mods. That way your map will look exactly how it does in this video. Let me read a little bit of the description. It says, "Welcome to Euro Farms." Map has 2 cow farms, small and big farm. You have 7 buying stations. Map has custom crop textures, windrow textures, ground textures, and tree textures. There are also custom textures that you can paint on the ground. The map has multi-terrain angle. Now it says only for PC, which makes me believe this map may eventually be available for console also, just that it is initially released on PC only. The map has a BGA, water drawing point, so you have a water point. Manure is in both cow sheds, 19 fields, missions on the fields, hilly terrain, small, medium, and large fields. I have to say, there's a lot more large than small fields on this map. Sounds on the map, just more and more detail. It says this map is seasons ready with mask, as well as manure systems ready, again for PC only. And let's go ahead and jump on in. I'm going to pick the mods that we typically look at when we load up. We're also going to try to make sure that we pick all the mods that are a part of the required mods section here. Give me a moment. Sure I have everything picked. I did load this mod up or map up with seasons and straw harvest. Wasn't any issue having all of those activated at the same time. Could be it. You start up with a fair bit of starting equipment. And I will say, if you start this map up on Farm Manager or start from scratch, the buildings are not placed at the farms, with a few exceptions. I'll try to point those exceptions out when we get to the farms, but all of the equipment is still there. Let's take a look at the PDA. This is a standard size map. These fields are just massive. Go ahead and take a look at the lands area. So we start out without owning any fields. We own no fields at the start. We do own both cow farms, this big cow shed farm and this little cow farm. There is a Buyable biogas plant right here, $148,000. Let's take a look at some of these massive fields. 94 acres, $1.7 million. Field 4, 82 acres, $1.5 million. Field 18, 60 acres, $1 million. Field 19, 48 acres, 751 acres. There are some big boys here. We've got some little fields over here. 2.6, 6 acres, 5, 6, almost 8, 5.5-ish, and 5.14. What's also kind of interesting is a little bit of signing of the map over here. We're going to take a look at that just for funsies. Now, these fields aren't numbered, are buyable lands. 29 acres for $687,000, and 18 acres for $432,000. Are some buyable forests, $128,000 for that one, $510,000 for that one, and here, $188,000 the area up north. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at our starting equipment. Start out with the Valtra A114 and T194, as well as the John Deere 8295R, 7290R, and another 7290R. Got the big Krone Big X 1180 forage harvester. Got the self-propelled Vetramix 1702. That's interesting. We don't really see this often as starting equipment. Self-propelled TMR mixer. Got the Joskins Transspace 8000 trailer. Pair of those. You have the Agroliner HKD 302. Pair of those. Big forage harvester header for corn. X-disc for basically the mower for grass and other crops. Got the side mower. Have the Kuhn header and windrower. The FS 2501 forage wagon. We have also the go behind TMR mixer. Front loader forks with fork grapple, the manure fork basically. We have our header trailer for the forage harvester header. Set of weights, and then we move into the placeable buildings. Large cow pasture, small cow shed. Large cow pasture will hold 200 cattle. Small shed that's in the map holds 15. Several bunker silos, big grain silo, garage storages, grain storage buildings, and we do have a placeable sleep trigger. Go here to our placeables and buy the sleep trigger also. So that's nice. We can sell the sleep trigger, buy it, and put it wherever we want. Very good for the map author on that. And of course, with the mods that we've activated, of course, buy those in the shop, the appropriate categories. And then we do have a couple other options as far as cowshed above and beyond what is included in the map in that pack. So here we are at the shop. Typically would fly around the map and then look at our Mahindra here. I'm going to go ahead and buy the Mahindra. Stand out of the way. That spawns in. Possibly over here at the repair bay. You have what I feel is custom lighting on the map. A little dark, so we have the Mahindra there. We have our buy, customize, and sell trigger here. Only way into the shop is through the gate over here. Got to go around the building to get over to your buy, sell repair point. Go back to our escape menu. Take a look at our prices screen. We have one selling point for bulk of our crops. You have a custom root crop sell point. You have spinnery for our cotton and wool. We have a sell point for eggs and milk, as well as wood chips. And then the barn, if we do not own the biogas plant, the barn will accept our hay, straw, grass, and silage. Also have a sell point for our pellets, should we happen to have straw harvest in the barn, so we don't have to put down our own sell point. Take a look at the starting equipment that we've already seen. It is all fairly new. Now, take a look here. Oh, this is our Manure. I'm going to say, take a look here. This one's leased, but no, we just bought that. Don't have any animals at the start. We do have contracts. Those here. Let's go ahead and kind of get set up for a fly around the map, and I want to take a look at some of these custom textures, because crop textures, I took a look at them earlier. Some of them are pretty nice, and I don't remember seeing these crop textures in the past on other maps, so I wanted to show those off if we have time. Get a little bit of altitude. Now, one of the things that I'm not really keen on the map is that the map border is, well, it's just pretty much a row of trees, and there you go, that's it. You have some distant scenery, but it is pretty far distant from the map border itself. Depending on how you are kind of playing, if you're playing more first-person level, then it's probably less of an issue. You play kind of high and behind, then you may get a little distracted by the map border. Let's just do a kind of a loop of the map. You can see we do have a rideable train that we can tab into. Does go around. I'm going to hop off here and take a look at some of these textures. Here we have corn ready to harvest. We have ready to harvest soybeans. Chop is right there. We've got a sell point. This crop is over here. Growing potatoes. A ruin. Interesting how the road drives through that. Growing sugar beets. A little bit of the underlying ground texture there also. Ready to harvest grass, fully grown grass. Wheat, growing wheat, early growth stage of wheat. And just some rather interesting things drawn on the map here. Nismo, map author's name. All these other things, I'm not too sure on what they are. LS19. No man, maybe. Kind of fun little things. Sure what these. Now they don't show up. If you load this map up in seasons, you don't see those. Gizmo. Other things randomly being drawn in here. Back onto the tour. Growing grass. Horse. Left it ready to harvest grass. Ready to harvest wheat. Ready to harvest barley. This is one of the main, this is the big cow farm. 200 cows in this area. this field over here is. Ready to harvest oats. Cotton, I looked at cotton earlier. It looked kind of the same, and maybe it's spaced out a little more. I don't recall. I haven't grown cotton for a while. So now we're coming around here to smaller cow farm. Harvest corn. We have our biogas plant. Now we'll just make our way back up here to the shop. We will buy one of the smaller fields and do some texture painting on that. Just to show off some of the ground textures and some of the paintable textures. Make another big loop around the map, this time kind of ground level. So we do have sped up traffic, and that little incident helps answer a question I had. It doesn't look like the traffic has larger detection zones with respect to the fact that it's driving faster. It does feel like quite possibly you're apt to maybe get run into a bit more because they're moving faster, but they don't detect you further out. As a result, well, they're going to hit you. Here we have one of our sell points for our root crops. We have our barn sell point. We have a lime buy trigger here. And then our grain sell point is over here. Traffic doesn't even detect itself, and it just slams in the back of each other. Train stopped there for where I got out. That's what's going on there. I really do find the ground textures and the crop textures on the map. Quite refreshing. Here we do have collisions on the poles that are in the fields. Making our way over here to the main farm, and you will find throughout the fields kind of low spots where crops are kind of buried down in mud. A little bit of water plane texture in those sometimes. Road texture here is pretty interesting. We've got patches where it looks like the road's been repaired. Over here. Sell point. And this is our animal buy point. Animal dealer. Hold on. Well, disoriented. Not our animal dealer. Sorry, this is our spinnery. I think when we get to our animal dealer, you'll see why I was a little confused. Pretty sure they look pretty similar to each other. Here we have the big cow farm. And both farms at the start in new farmer mode. Have our sleep trigger here at the front door. Again, we can sell the sleep trigger and place another one down, should we so wish. Some of the mods, required mods that are part of the map. The grain storage building. Pair of those. Dipper here. And what you're seeing here on the ground, this is paintable texture. I really like the paintable textures that are included with this map also. Not sure on the lighting. The lighting is a little dark. Again, if you start this map up in Farm Manager or start from scratch, buildings are not here, but the equipment is. We have our cow farm, cow shed, sorry, slurry point. I believe the map description said that we'd have to get the manure out of the buildings. Have our big grain silo here. We have our dump and our fill there. Cow buy point, 200 cattle, and for this particular area. Have our feed trough and our straw trigger down this lane. Have our milk point here. And this whole length is the water trough. We have the animal pen extension loaded, so we have access to the water pipes here. And we do this to help identify where the water trigger is and also see if there is custom support for these built into the map. With them stacked here, it tells me that there is not custom support built into the map. That's okay, because you can always place them in-game. Now, this shed and the house are here no matter what. So in Farm Manager, start from scratch, this shed still exists, and the farmhouse still exists, but the sleep trigger does not. Kind of interesting. We've got one of our tractors just kind of parked out here in the middle. Obviously, I guess used for silage compression action. Got two big silage bunkers for the big cow farm. Nothing here in the middle. Another one is right here. Really nice texturing on this. Really like this paint in the ground. While we're here, let's go ahead and take a look at that. Show you some of the various painted ground. That one. Kind of a dirt texture. Cracked concrete. Kind of a different concrete. This brick texture here. Another dirt texture. Grass. And this one is kind of just bushes. Shrubbery. Gravel. This we saw at the shop. Stone. That is all of the custom paintable textures. Go over here and can't pick up a small field. Go drive over to the small field because I want to show you some of these custom round textures that are included with the map. Grass fields are kind of separated by a drainage ditch. '27. We're going to use easy development controls to do this. We have our cultivated texture. Look at that. Cloud texture. Seen that before. Now our sowed texture and cultivator are the same, just one's a little bit lighter than the other. Wish there was a little bit difference on those. Sowing width is going to be our potatoes and sugarcane. Back to cultivator. Let's take a look here at some of the stages. We have wheat, different growth stages. Ready to harvest. Stages of barley. Harvest. Oats. Canola real quick. Not really sure if I like this. Feels a little bit too 2D-ish. And I kind of like the ready to harvest canola over the base in-game canola, because the base in-game canola looks awful sticky and spiny. Sunflowers. And we'll do soybeans and corn. So first growth stage of soybeans looks kind of sticky, grassy. Still looking kind of grassy there. Then we got our pods, leafed. Corn. Altitude to look at our corn. One more growth state on corn. Then we have ready to harvest corn. I just wanted to show you all the growth stages. There she be. I really like the textures on the map. They're a little bit different than maybe what we've seen in some other custom textures. I'd like to see a little bit of a difference in the sown and cultivated textures, other than just the sown being a lighter color. We're going to make our way over here to the smaller cow farm. The rest of the sell points on the map. The road on the map basically is a big loop. So whichever way you go, you can get to pretty much anywhere you need to be. This might take a little bit longer to get there. That's kind of nice. You have kind of a rolling hill terrain here. Map has a few different villages that you come into. Watch out for the roadside signs. Here we have the sell point for milk. Those are milk jugs. Never seen milk jugs that look like that. Okay. Here we have the animal dealer. I think you're gonna forgive me a little bit by mixing up the spinnery and the animal dealer. Given the fact that I've spent maybe 10 minutes on the map before I did the video. So here we have our animal dealer trigger. And across the street we have the small cow farm. You have a house here, no sleep trigger. We can put our own down, get rid of the other sleep trigger. Large machinery sheds, and then we have our Voltra farm over here. Kind of our grass equipment. The other farm was kind of equipped out with foraging equipment. This is our food, water, and straw triggers are in here. We have the milk trigger. Then outside this door we have the animal delivery. Just 15 cows for this particular area. Take a look. See if we have any custom food requirements. Oh. That is pretty much the small cow shed. Not a lot going on here. You have our slurry point there. Just, oh, 3 more stop-offs. Monument to something. Nice little bench there. Custom road signs. I saw a road sign there that I'd never really seen before. Kind of indicating a hill, I believe. We have the sown texture. The cultivated texture is just this, but darker. Traffic, the detection area needs to be made larger so they don't run into you. We have the biogas plant. Scale. Digester. 2 bunkers. 1 and trigger 2. Then the digestate is around other side of this road. Right here at this pit. Here's your digestate trigger. Looks like we missed the road to the sawmill. Go a little cross country to get to that. water trigger right here. Okay. Okay. Not sure what that says, but that's our water trigger. And let's go cross country driving. Get over here to the sawmill. Now, there doesn't appear to be a selling station that is associated with the train, as best I can tell. You can use the train to... I really don't know why you would use the train. Because, again, train track, not... I think the train track goes around anything that is a selling point. So I don't see there as really being a way to offload the train. So I think the train is just decorative. Really wouldn't put anything on the train as far as product goes. Here we are at our sawmill. We have a log trigger inside the building. Our activation icon there. And then the wood chips are right here. Guys, there you go. That is Euro Farms. This map can be found over at the farmingsimulator.com website or the in-game mod hub. And as of the 1.0 release of this map, this is PC only. For the train loops. I'm going to follow this train line. I don't think it actually goes to any sell points during our video closeout. So until next time, happy farming. Alright, so there is a trigger here to unload grain. So if you made it this far in the video, well, there you go. You can unload grain at the grain sell point. Be sure to like, subscribe, and click that notification bell.